Hello, wealthy family. Welcome to today's Wealth Wednesday. I am so excited to come to you today, especially about today's topic. I'm not sure if many of you know, but I am a licensed financial educator, and September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And I just wanted to talk about some benefits of life insurance because before I became a licensed educator in the financial industry, I had, sorry, my citronella is all trying to get keep the mosquitoes away. And the citronella is like bomb in my face. Okay, so before I became a licensed educator, I knew nothing about finances. I was self-taught, but my mom didn't know much. She taught me what she could. She taught me how to work hard, and I should have some savings, but nothing really tangible. She couldn't teach me how the Rockefellers attained their wealth, or how J.C. Penney was able to get started, and how Disney was able to build his conglomerate business. Okay, he even has his own little town, right? Celebration. So I I wondered these things, but I felt they weren't attainable to me because of where I was coming from. Being a teenage mom, working a 9 to 5 when I could, not making more than $10 an hour, I did not think it was something that myself or my family could reach or could attain to. So when I got introduced to the financial industry, and I got introduced to the financial industry because my husband and I were looking for life insurance for our family. We do have 5 children together, one of which is special needs. He's autistic nonverbal. And we were looking for insurance just to kind of make sure that everybody was okay if anything were to happen to my husband and I. And we got insurance, and after about a month or so, we got a letter saying that they were going to drop our son, who's autistic, because he had pre-existing conditions, and that didn't sit well with my husband and I. So we dropped that policy altogether, and it kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. But I was like, you know what, it's fine. I can figure it out on my own. We'll figure it out. I had recently quit my job, so we had no more retirement and 401k funds or benefits. And my husband is a business owner, so of course he had his his retirement was his own responsibility. We didn't know what we were going to do. So I said, you know what, I'll figure it out. We were going to invest in Bitcoin because I had heard about Bitcoin for a long time. I am a avid criminal justice TV show watcher. So I used to hear about Bitcoin all the time on Criminal Minds and things like that. And then when I realized that it was something real, I was like, well, shoot, let's go ahead and invest. And we ended up not doing that because right when we were going to do it, the market got flooded with people investing in Bitcoin, and it caused Bitcoin to crash. So I was like, okay, no, we can't put our savings in that. So I found a company, or a company found me, and they actually were able to insure our son. And then they told me I could partner with them independently because I was like, I don't want another job. I want to have control. And they helped me get licensed, and they taught me so much, so much, so much, so much. So right now I am dedicated to sharing the message with as much people as I possibly can. And September is Life Insurance Awareness Month. So why not bring some awareness on life insurance? So these are just some little known facts. I know I didn't know about it until someone told me. So I want to pass that knowledge on to you. So, first thing about life insurance, it is not a one-stop shop, okay? There's 5 different types of life insurances. I know most of us know about, final expense, or even term policies where you pay money into it all these years, and then if you outlive the policy, now it's too expensive to get more, or even if you just had that old way of thinking of, I'm going to pay all this money into this policy, I'm going to pay $8,000 into a policy that only pays out $12,000, which is hardly enough to even bury you. And then if whatever's left, they go spend it on a bag or something. So that was my old way of thinking. However, there's 5 different types of life insurances, and life insurance is so much better than how it was when our ancestors were refused the ability to get it. So, with that being said, the life insurance has the ability to create a living legacy for you and your family. It can also allow your family to become their own bank. Life insurance also not only creates a living legacy, but a legacy for after you pass. What other product is there out there that you can invest? Let's say you pay a little bit more and you invest $100,000 into the policy of your life. And when you pass, your family now gets 1 million. What else can do that? And you know, $1 million policy is not even that expensive. I do $1 million policies all the time. I especially love what we call the $1 million baby. And it is amazing, right? Basically, your baby, once it's born, can become a millionaire. I pride myself on adding $1 million to everybody's net worth because it's not as expensive as you may think. A lot of the times when I go through people's financials, I see that they're spending money on things that is not important at all, not even a little bit. And then they say they don't have any money, and it's not that you don't have money, it's that you're spending it places where it's not going to accumulate or appreciate for you or work for you. Your money should work for you, okay? Another little known fact about life insurance is that you can build cash inside of a life insurance policy and have that cash protected with an iron fence. So nothing can happen. Think O.J. Simpson. So when you have money inside of this life insurance policy, because it's attached to a life insurance policy, you can say, okay, this is for, my family, for my loved ones. But if you have to access it early, you can. Unlike your 401k, your life insurance can replace your retirement plan. Remember earlier I said my husband and I didn't know how he was going to retire? Well, guess what? We now have a 6-figure retirement, and we built that in 3 years. Right? It's there. It's possible. You can do it. Life insurance does that for you. I mentioned, how did Disney accumulate his wealth? How is it that the Rockefellers did that? They relied on themselves. They had long-term thinking. And that's another thing about life insurance. We have to have a long-term mentality. See, they knew that they were middle-aged men and they didn't have a lot of time. So what they did was build and lay the foundation, they laid the foundation and they began to build on that. And then they put their assets in something ironclad, life insurance, so that nobody could touch it, whether they filed bankruptcy, they got divorced, or anything. And then from there, they just kept building it and building and building and building it and keeping it in the family. And instead of going and getting loans from the bank or anything like that, they just went to their life insurance policies or their trust funds that kept building. But see, we need to start getting into that mindset of longevity. So life insurance is not a short-term remedy. Life insurance is long-term commitment. You got to commit to it, okay? Another thing about life insurance, it is not for the old. My 100-year-old grandfather told me that the graveyard has all size headstones, okay? Meaning people of all age pass away. So as soon as a person is born, you should insure that person. That's what a lot of these other communities do, right? That come here and take advantage of the wonderful financial prospects that this country offers. A lot of these other people do. A lot of these high religious ranking cultures do that. The baby is born, and instead of throwing big baby showers and all this stuff, they give the baby money. They put money into a fund, or they put life insurance on that baby immediately and dump the money into that life insurance. So if anything were to happen, if that baby got sick, if that baby passed away prematurely or anything of that nature, they will be okay. They will be taken care of. And I'm not trying to say that to sound morbid, but I'm just saying, we all know that we're not getting out of this alive. No one is getting out of this alive, right? Now, life insurance is not something to pacify a situation. It's not something that should be looked at like, when I pass, they can pay these bills and pay this house and whatever. That's not what life insurance should be looked at as. It shouldn't be looked as a pacifier, as a band-aid per se, right? You want to look at life insurance with a legacy mentality. How do you build a legacy? We need so much more of that in our community because we are trying to catch up. There's a lot of people trying to catch up to the race. I know that the majority of my viewers right now, you do not have a 6-figure, much less a 7-figure background, right? So life insurance can change that around immediately. It can change your net worth. When you go to look for certain things, they ask you about life insurance for a reason. Now, the great thing about it is the government said it, that you cannot have anybody sue you or get any of, what can I say? They can't sue you or get any of the proceeds or anything like that, or they can't count your life insurance against any assets that you're trying to create. I hope I made that make sense. So with life insurance, if you count it, if they ask you about it and you disclose that you have it, they cannot count it as an asset. They can't say, oh, you have $1 million policy, we can't give you this. You understand? It doesn't count against you. And that's beautiful because it's life insurance. So they look at it again as something that's not going to benefit you right away, but it will if you know the right kind. Also, and this is probably going to be the last thing because I don't want this video to be too long. I know some people are going to be like, she's doing a 20-minute video about life insurance. I'm not going to do that. But lastly, life insurance has the upgraded types of life insurance with certain companies has something called living benefits. That is so major right now. And what living benefits does is it kicks in an acceleration of the face value of your life insurance policy that pays for anything if you have chronic, critical, or terminal illness that falls in the certain criteria. But the criteria is a lot, okay? So if you have a heart attack, if you have a stroke, if you get the big C, if you catch this new coronavirus, anything because it's diagnosed as a chronic illness, it will pay out. It'll accelerate. And the great thing about this, most of the time, I don't go under $250,000 if I'm doing the living benefits. So I know someone personally, rather healthy gentleman, and he had a stroke at the beginning of 2019. And it was scary, but thankfully he was around people who knew what to do and were able to come to his aid and his rescue. But he got a bill from the hospital that insurance, didn't cover all. He's also an entrepreneur, so, his insurance wasn't all that. But we were able to give him a check from his living benefits policy. And although he survived his stroke, you couldn't even tell unless he speaks and tells you verbally that he had a stroke. You would not even be able to tell this gentleman had a stroke. But it doesn't matter. The insurance company still sent him a check for 6 figures. We were able to put it in his hand. Here you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now he was able to pay off his hospital bills, and he had a little bit left over to reinvest in another long-term plan financially. So what could that do for you? How many people in your family you know that has had a stroke or a heart attack or the big C, right? So I just want to share those thoughts with you. I hope that helped change your mindset of life insurance. Until next time, Wealthy family, stay alert, stay aware, and live in love. Bye.